It was fun to go and rent something.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in video stores.
We used to spend our Friday nights in Blockbuster. We used to hang out in Blockbuster.
When I was a kid, I think I rented Can't Buy Me Love 35 times in a month.
Bad Boys. Yes. And Big Mama's House.
Okay. I remember when Star Wars first came out in VHS, because it came out much later than the films.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Over and over and over and over, to the point my dad was like, can we pick anything else? And I was like, no. We're definitely getting this.
I rented Child's Play, way more than I should have done.
The horror film.
Yeah, like the Chucky film.
How old were you actually?
18.
I loved going to the video store as a kid because it was very intentional.
I very rarely went to the video store without some kind of game plan.
Once you rented it, it's like you better watch it. We're going to sit down and pop some popcorn and watch that movie.
It's a great way to catch those smaller films that you missed in the theater.
Because working at Kim's, it was my third or fourth day that Winona Ryder came in and stuff, and that was always pretty surreal.
I worked in video stores. That was my first job when I was 13, and my boss, a woman called Elizabeth Taylor, actually, and she was very much like Elizabeth Taylor. She was a very glamorous woman. She introduced me to the art house section, probably where I discovered all those Kubrick films initially. She was my first film teacher, I think.
Back in the days when I worked in a video store, Mondo Movies in Annandale in Sydney, I would recommend this more than anything else because it was the single best value item in the entire library. It was a Spike Lee box set of 3 films that still went for just a $4 weekly hire. Do the Right Thing, Clockers, and there was also Jungle Fever, and I would just pass it on to everyone. So I think the entire population of Annandale has seen all 3 of those movies.
My true memories of Blockbuster are going there with my friends and spending about 4 hours just wandering around. Sometimes also waiting for someone to return the copy of Ferris Bueller's or Who Framed Roger Rabbit or whatever it was that we wanted to rent, because it was oh yeah, that's supposed to come back tonight. And you'd be like, all right, let's just hang out and look at movies.
I rented The Mother and the Whore to Liv Tyler, and I talked her into it. I was like, no, Liv Tyler, you have to watch The Mother and the Whore tonight.
We had so many late fees that the guy started forgiving my mom. We had a reputation for just keeping Labyrinth for 6 months. And the guy was like, you know what, lady, don't worry about it.
Jason Takes Manhattan, I still remember how it looks. I remember the VHS. It has such a profound effect to me visually. VHS culture is why I started as a horror filmmaker myself. Having your work immortalized in VHS form.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that wasn't on the shelf, that was in the storeroom out the back because it wasn't allowed to be rented at that stage. And I remember seeing that.
There was a video store down the road from our house when we lived in Ponsonby. Every time you would get a video, there was a little blue tag. It was like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory gold tickets. I can remember the smell of them and everything. Once we had 9 of those tickets, free movie! And we'd go to the fish and chip shop and the video store. Once we had a free movie, we were allowed to choose it. Prior to then, we had to ask our mum and dad if they were interested in watching it too.
One year I volunteered to work on Christmas Eve. Probably the happiest memory I have of just ordering Thai food across the street and just sitting on the counter by myself on December 24th, just watching movies. That was kind of a magical day in a weird kind of cozy New York snowy way.
We had 2 VHSes. I would rent movies, tape one on one and put it on the other, and then rent those out to my friends for $1 or something. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I was 12, but everyone wanted Pulp Fiction. I don't know.
I still have over 200 VHS. I am collecting them. I will never give them up. Thank God they saved me. XOXO, he didn't do anything wrong.
I got sick for a few days. I decided to work my way through all the Bond movies. And so my mom would go in the morning, pick up 3 or 4 Bond films. I watched them sequentially, starting with Dr. No. And I can just remember lying in bed, just getting sucked into that Bond world.
They were issuing on DVD all of the after-school specials from the 70s and 80s, and then they put all of them into a cardboard school bus with 40 back-to-school specials in it. Indie film New York luminary Parker Posey came in. She was there all the time, and she was like, what is this? She ends up leaving with her own after-school specials school bus. I like to imagine she still has it all this time later.
You help make the world a better place.
Yeah.
You are that for people all the time.
Well, I'm literally always saying this.